Okay, kiddos, now we are starting our day 2 of our algebra review. So this one, we're going to need our Desmos calculator. I'm going to show you how to use this and how it's a lot better than our yellow one for something like this. So on this example, it says, what is the value of the expression below? So this expression, when y equals 3. Okay, so what that means is we're going to substitute 3 every place that we see that y. Okay, so basically here's what we're going to type in. We're going to type in 3, and instead of the y, we're going to put a parentheses, right? Then we're going to square it. Minus 4, and then parentheses, and then plus 8. Okay, so then inside each of that, that's where we're going to put the 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over here to our Desmos, and let's go ahead and type that in. Okay, so if we go right over here, I'm just going to type in our 3. Okay, let's see here. 3. Sorry, let's see here if I can get this to go. Okay, 3. Okay, there we go. Parentheses. And then instead of the y, I'm going to put a 3. Okay, and then I'm going to close it. Then I'm going to push this button right over here for square. Okay, so we're going to push that button for square. Okay, then we're going to just go to the right. So I'm going to push that right arrow key to go to the right. Then we're going to do minus 4. Okay, then the same thing with our parentheses. And now I'm going to push that 3. Once again, close it, and then plus 8. Okay, so when we do that, our answer is 23. So that's what we see our answer is 23. So that's all we're going to do is we're just going to type that into our Desmos and evaluate it when y equals 3. Okay, so now let's look at our next example right over here. Okay, so on this one, now we're solving what we call a two-step equation. So we remember from last time, we're just going to draw our line down our equal sign. Now, if it's helpful, you could just do this, right? You could just move this over here and put equals 70 and then scratch that out and do it like that, right? So if you like it better with the x on this side, you can do it that way. Otherwise, we can always, of course, just do it the other way that we talked about. So let's try it like this, okay? So we're just going to draw our line down our equal sign. So now on this two-step, we're always going to work with our variable last. So you can either circle that or highlight that or box that. We're going to work with that last. So if we're working with that last, we ask ourselves, are we going to work with the negative 8 or the 38 to get x by itself? Well, if we're going to work with this last, that means we're going to work with this next. So this is adding 38. So like we talked about, we're going to do the inverse of minus 38. So if we're going to subtract 38 on both sides, then we just work from left to right just like we're reading in a book. 70 minus 38 gives us 32. Equals, this brings it down, negative 8x. And then these two opposites cancel out. Okay, so now you remember, just like we talked about on a one-step operation, right? If that's an x, that's being multiplied. It's not subtracted, right? And it's in front of it, it's multiplying. So the opposite of multiplying times negative 8 is dividing by that same negative 8, not positive 8. So if that means we're going to divide that side by negative 8, right? So those cancel out. And then if we put that into our calculator, 32 divided by negative 8, that's going to give us x equals negative 4. Okay, so that's all we do on that one. All right, so now our last example. Okay, so this is very similar, right? Once again, if we're solving this, we're going to draw our line on our equal sign. Now, I'm going to work with this last because that has my variable in it, right? So I'm going to work with that last. So I'm going to work with this positive 41 first. So if the opposite of positive plus 41 is subtract 41. So we're going to subtract 41 from both sides. Working from left to right, I'm going to bring that down. So negative y over 9, right? These two opposites cancel out, and then 42 minus 41 is just 1. Okay, so now this looks kind of weird, right? But we talked about, let's just cross multiply, right? So I'm going to put that over 1, right? And then I can do this. Now I can take that negative with either one, right? So if you see that negative, I'm going to take it with the y. It could be with the 9, okay? But either one, with one or the other, right? And so then we have this one times this one, okay? Right, so now I have negative y times 1. Negative y times 1 makes negative 1y. Equals, right, 9 times 1 equals 9. Okay, so now I just have to divide by that negative 1, right? Divide by negative 1 because this is being multiplied times negative 1. So if I do that, then I have y equals, and if we type this in the calculator, we know all it's going to do is change that to a negative instead. Okay, so that's all we do is we're going to work with the variable term last.